What's going on? Demon time. We in here. That's right, we in here. Yo, some funny ideas about, well, not funny, I'm gonna say interesting. Some interesting ideas occurred to me about why we lose at chess and what is commonly held to be the reason. Well, so we know somebody has to, well, not all the time, but there's usually a blunder somewhere involved when a game is lost, not just abruptly in miniature fashion, which would be 25 moves or less, but there are other types of blunders. Yes, stream. Yes, 1200s, 1100s, 900s. Anybody listening who wants a little bit of insight that is not so far in the clouds, like someone explaining something to you in multiple lines and variations, GM fashions and style, IM fashion and style. Maybe you may not understand that, but in clear terms, there are, in my honest opinion, two reasons why we lose chess games. And the most important one, I think, is the one that's the most unrecognizable, because it continues to occur over and over and over again. Yes, let me adjust my camera. I should have did this before, but just a little bit. Let's see what happens. So, hold on. I think that's a little better. You get to see the nice wooden chessboard that I bought from the New York City Chess Forum. Shout out to the New York City Chess Forum. Anybody who's in New York City, whether you live or you visit, please check out the NYC Chess Forum. It's Grandmaster Nicholas Rosalimo's original art studio. Anyone who's familiar with the Rosalimo defense against the Sicilian, it's a Bobby Fischer repertoire selection. But anybody familiar with that, Nicholas Rosalimo is the so-called theoretical namesake for that variation. And so the Chess Forum is actually his old art studio. It's been open since 1995, and it's run by Imad, who is a Lebanese immigrant to the United States. Now he's a citizen, of course, and he was so, like, I have to say, from the center of my chessboard, you know, that's just another terminology for saying from the heart, but from the center of my chessboard, I have to say he's a very kind man. What did Imad do that makes me say he's so kind? He left NYU. Let me, for those of you who may not be familiar with the acronym of NYU, that is New York University, a prestigious college, like maybe Harvard, Princeton, but it's known. Let's just say that, right? He left NYU in 1995, getting an education in philosophy, and I believe, I heard him say philosophy. I was gonna say and physics, but I don't want to go too far. So he left NYU in 1995 to do the most courageous and generous and kindest act for the chess community in New York City, which was to open the Chess Forum. It used to be open 24 hours a day. but now it is from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., which is good time. $5 an hour. You can pick up a game with. Check this out. Check out who you could play chess with in a chess forum. You're not Most Def, the Wu-Tang Clan. Jamie Foxx came through there. Back in the day, Stanley Kubrick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stanley Kubrick, Marcel Duchamp. They visited the chess forum. Marcel Duchamp is like the Picasso of the art world. I think he was one of the pioneers of Cubism. Look that up. But anyway, they all went there and they played chess. This place is a historical landmark in chess culture, and I'm surprised that people don't know about it, right? I'm even thinking about making let me not put that idea out there too quick, but so anyway, yeah, he opened the chess forum, left NYU. Imad, the Lebanese immigrant, who's now a citizen, he left NYU in 1995, opened the chess forum, and still there today. To this day, it made it through COVID. Yes, the chess forum is still up, still running. Didn't close down. Didn't have to close down like a lot of restaurants closed down. A lot of things closed down during the height of the pandemic, right? Not the chess forum. And it's a testament not only to listen, man, this is my interpretation, right? You know, you don't have to agree with me, but it's an interpretation not only to the chess forum, but you know what I'm about to say. I'm chess optics, man. I gotta look at things through the lens of chess, man. Right? The chess forum is a testament to the willpower of a strong chess player. It's like a reflection into the real world that if you have a position that has a little hope, you play it out. You play it out. Some people tip the king and they resign, but anything can happen between the first move and the last. And this goes back to my original opening statement about blunders and why we lose at chess. It's not just blunders, right? Each and every individual has a personality that they approach the game with. Now, that's loaded. It sounds very, very, it sounds very like mundane and obvious, right? Everybody has a personality that they do something with, but listen, and this piece of information is irrelevant to what chess book you read, what level you are, right? Your personality is a key factor in decision making in your whole life, right? A hothead is not going to do the same thing if somebody accidentally steps on his shoe as a calm, reserved person who may be even more dangerous than a, guy who wants to get, or girl who wants to get, irate, right? So, but personality affects everything. You can have you can have the highest rating, but people on your level, there's some of them that you just cannot beat. So they have the same information, but you have a personality. There is something about you, chess player, whoever is the chess player listening, but there is something about you, excuse me, that determines not only the decisions you make, but which ones you choose and why, right? Personality affects your chess. So the reason why we lose at chess, board blunders, right? Positional understanding learning curve blunders. I'm going to say that again. That was kind of long, right? Positional understanding learning curve blunders, which means it doesn't matter how well you are versed in tactics or maybe the end game is technique can get you far. However, it does not matter how versed you are in any one specific area of the game, opening, middle game, or end game. What in my honest opinion, what determines a 50-50, maybe even 60-40% of blunders and why you lose at chess has nothing to do with, I mean, up to a certain level, right? 1600 and above, has nothing to do with board blunders. Like, you stop dropping your queen. I don't think 1600s drop their queens as much as somebody who just learned how to play 5 minutes ago. You get it? So that is a difference in understanding chess. That is the positional understanding learning curve. So if you have a learning curve or an advantage in how to approach something that another person does not, you have more information than them, the ability to execute when it's time to make the decision. You may have the same information, same data, same knowledge about what's in front of you, but how you approach it is much different, right? So already it's like having an extra piece across the board from you, right? With the 16 men on the other side, that 17th piece is the opponent. There is the opponent that you're playing and interpreting and trying to decide, what is he gonna do next? But in your considerations of what your opponent does next comes some things that may be frightening to you, right? Once you become afraid, you make your decisions differently. This affects your game. This precedes any board blunder. The positional learning curve blunder is the root of the board blunder. It's not, I made this move where I lost this piece and, well, this is why I lost the game. So on the board, that's why you lost. But in your mind, what decisions were you thinking of, or what were you not thinking of when you put your pieces in certain positions in relationship to the pieces in front of you on the other side, right? What were you considering or not considering? Because they both contribute to your positional learning curve understanding of the position, right? So hypothetically speaking, we get into an end game. I love this, right? Because this has really happened to me before, and I laughed. So, you would never have, so the person who's playing has never heard of the square, right? So let me show you what I mean real quick, because I've been going on and on for a second. So I'm gonna pull up the bear with me here. I'm gonna pull up the board that allows you to look at positions, which is the analysis board, right? So looking at it from the analysis board. So we clear the board. We have to clear the board. I do this a little bit easier on my phone. Analysis board, opening Explorer board, board editor. Sorry, right? Clear the board. Okay, so look. Here's an example of positional learning curve understanding versus board. Well, not versus board blunder, but just because positional learning curve understanding is kind of an abstract topic, and if you don't make it concrete, it may be difficult for a person to understand it. So positional learning curve understanding, which contributes to board blunders, but the positional learning curve understanding precedes the board blunder. It's what breeds the decision to make the move or whatever you're deciding to do in any sector of your life, on or off the chessboard. How do you interpret the information that you have versus what you don't have? Do you even seek other information? But all of these things play a role in decision-making process, and the degree to which you do all of these things reflect an aspect of personality. So you see how it all ties in, right? Don't ask me what I just said. I don't remember, but you can rewind it, catch the VOD and check it out. But listen, this is very significant. So I'm going to show you a basic, simple example of the square, right? So let's just say we put a pawn right here in the middle of the board, right? Right here on good old E4, right? Pawn is right here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 moves, right? Until it can be whatever it wants to be minus a king or another pawn, right? And that's interesting. Why don't they let you promote to another pawn, like right next to that pawn which protects you at yo, that'd be crazy. You promote to a pawn, right? So let's say you okay, I'm veering off. I'll talk about that later. But so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares before you queen. Okay, so who's trying to stop you? We have the black king over here. And we have the white king. Let's say the white king is, put the white king right here. Let's make it stand out. Okay, so let's hypothetically say someone told you or convinced you, you just learned how to play chess. You've never seen this position before in your life, right? And somebody tells you, who, you know, you think they're the strongest player in the world, you haven't done any of your own research. They say, oh, you may as well just accept the draw, man. Or he got a pawn, right? And it's the king will take the pawn and the game is drawn, right? And you say, no, how's it drawn? I can make 4 moves and get to E1. Right there is an example of positional learning curve understanding. Simple. Because you do not know the rule of the square. So you look at this position that has 3 files between the king and the pawn. 1, 2, 3. And you say, he's too far away from me. He can't catch me, right? Partially correct. But why? That is a key indicator of positional learning curve, either understanding or misunderstanding. If you can answer that question, why? So are you just saying that I can 1, 2, 3, 4 become a queen because it's just 4 squares in front of you and you feel like you can get away? Or do you know the rule of the square that allows you to prove that without making a move? Like cold, like immediately on sight, you know the outcome of this position. That is understanding the position. That precedes lack of blunders, because if you understand it, right, you will make the correct move, right? So let's say you didn't understand it and you went here if you're white, right? Black goes here. And you say, oh, let me hurry up and go away from the king. Uh-oh. Wow, he caught me. So you say, wow, he caught me. And then somebody asks you, yo, why did you lose the game? You say, man, I had a pawn and he took my pawn before I could queen it. Positional learning curve misunderstanding, right? Positional learning curve misunderstanding. Let's put this back. Put this back on E4. So I'm using this position as an example to explain a concept that leads to what, in my honest opinion, many blunders and many lost games. And what that concept is, those two concepts are board blunders and blunders that come from positional learning curve misunderstanding. So if you understand this position and you know the rule of the square, you know that if you take a line, excuse me, I could use circles too, but if you take a line and you draw it from the pawn, right, this excuse me, here, right, to the promotion square, and you count and you make a square, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could use a diagonal, right? Whatever works for you, right? So the question here is, can white promote the pawn? If you do not have positional learning curve understanding, you may make the wrong answer, you may make the right answer with the wrong reason or no reason, and be right. You are correct. But the reasoning is the key to understanding why. Who, what, where, when, how, and why. The key word is why. So why is it this way in relationship to the outcome of this position? And it's very simple. Geometrically. This king, if it can step to any one of these squares, let me just use this color here. So if it can step to any one of these squares, I didn't want to use red, but if it can step to any one of, yeah, I think I probably should use red. If it can step to any one of these squares in here, anyone, let's just, okay, any square within this square, any square, right? Any square on move, right? That means the black king has to have the move. He or she can catch the pawn, right? Because the race is reduced. Now, when it's 4 squares to get the pawn to promote, with the king here, right, it's 3 squares to catch him before he makes his 4th move, right? So if you were to count it out with black to move, it would look like this: 1, 1, 2, 2, and like I said, 3. And because black was on move and could step into that square that I showed you, black was able to capture the pawn and draw the game, right? That's the explanation. That is positional learning curve understanding. And it is the basis for good moves in chess, good results in chess, less blunders and less losses. Right? So how do you get, so this is a very nice example of how you obtain positional learning curve understanding, because this position came along with information, which is key. Information about positions allow you to understand them, increase your learning curve in relationship to not only that position, but other positions with similar characteristics, right? This is done through, this is done through the effort and analysis, right? So if you've analyzed, let's say I play the Vienna game. I've won some beautiful games and then I've lost some, right? But however I won, a lot of times I had a sense or a feel for when the position that I had was winning based on some prior games I played, some analysis that I looked at, right? Some chess video that I may have watched, right? And said, I'm going to try this variation. I'm going to try this Vienna game and I'm going to win. Maybe I win, maybe I don't, but there's usually an indication of familiarity that determines my decision making processes in the position that I'm playing, which means I've played it prior. There's some recognition. Not everything I recognize, of course not, because you also have people who analyze the same position that you're playing from the other side of the board. This is what makes chess such a beautiful and splendid game, right? Because you have information and you can interpret it and then execute what you think the judgment from your interpretation is and the decisions that come from it. And then the other person sitting across from you can also do the same thing. And you just have a battle of wits. Now, this is very brief, simple analysis. But when you go into positions that you actually play from certain openings, the same principle applies. Right? So do not, and this is why I don't get over, I lost. It's not, you didn't lose. You don't really lose. I mean, if you're a true chess player, you don't really lose. You just learn what doesn't work. Go back, do your homework, right? And put in that work. You know what I'm saying? That's how it go. You know, that is how it goes. Yo, I've been talking for 30 minutes. I am about to play some chess. I think I'm gonna play one long time control. I never played a long, well, that's not true. I have played a long game before, but the reason why I want to play a long game is because I feel more, I just want to see how it feels to play a long game and be able to, acknowledge the chat, talk and communicate with the viewers and try to play a better quality game. I mean, because you may not want to sit here and watch a 15-minute game, you may, but anyway, that's what I am going to do, with the hopes of coming up with a nice game. Well, I don't want to blunder, you know what I'm saying? I could do 10 minutes, but I want to see something. 30-minute classical? Nah, that's gonna take me into an hour. Word, 15-10 rapid, I could do that. I could do a 15-10 rapid. I really don't see this time control much on League Chess. I don't see anybody playing 15-10, and we might be waiting here for a while to get an opponent, because 15-10, I've never played it. This is probably my first time, or maybe my second time if I played. I definitely have not played this time control any more than once or twice, if ever. If ever. What's your favorite chess book, though? What is your favorite chess book? I mean, you got a lot of chess books out there. So what do I have here on my library? So look, first let me tell you my favorite book. This book is my favorite because there was a guy, for those of you who know my history, I know I did some time, and it helped me see things in a better light and a better perspective. We have the 15 going. So anyway, there was this guy when I was inside. He used to kick my ass regularly on the chessboard. Being a passionate chess player, I didn't like that. Didn't like it one bit. Not one darn bit, damn it. So what I did was I saved up some mess hall cafeteria money. I started getting a subscription to Chess Life magazine. So as I'm getting these magazines, I noticed that there's a section in there where you can purchase chess books. So that's what I did. And the first book that I bought that was very influential in improving my game, not the first book I ever had in my life, but the first book that I purchased was Jeremy Silman's How to Reassess Your Chess. Yes. Very, very, very good material. And I mean good material, man. because I learned a lot. And so that's my favorite chess book. But I have two of his. I have How to Reassess Your Chess, 4th edition, Silman's complete endgame course, and I have Bobby Fischer's 60 Memorable Games, World's Greatest Chess Games book. I have that. John Nunn Learned Chess, The Art of Defense in Chess, Pawn Structure in Chess, and Victor Bologon's The Rosalimo Sicilian. Okay, so what is going on this chessboard? He just played knight to h6 because he wants to play f5. That's why. He wants to play f5. He didn't block the f pawn because he wants to play f5. That is why. So let us play d3, d3, and now we push here to cut off the communication between the queen and the rook. Bishop. So this is getting interesting. So he went to the opposite side of the board. I feel like I'm in a bully game, but I'm not. I do have some time. So he went to the opposite side of the board, castled. And me, my pawns are aiming toward the king side, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Well, this has to go here, so we're gonna do that. So the pawns are aiming towards the king side. That's where my space advantage is, but his king is on the queen side. Nice. So I'll go here. If he threatens my bishop, I'll back up to b3. If he captures, I'll take with the a3 pawn. Have a rook on a half open a file and won't know what to do. Will not know what to do. All right, we here. Step out of the pin. He captures. Now I could take here to keep the knight from harassing my bishop. But ooh, what does that do to this file for my king? All right, I'm going here. He could step there. You want the bishop? No, it's not about the bishop. What is it about? Well, he can't stay here. Sorry. Some things can happen, but that's just not one of them. That cannot be something we allow to happen. So he puts his bishop here. Now we can try and open lines. Oh, he's gonna. All right, we could try to open lines. Open some lines to the king on the king side. Maybe we could get a rook here with the knight. I was just, you know what? He's lost his queen, but I was just getting ready to see. He resigned. And he had a lot of time. But what I was gonna say was, if he pushes, before I could get it out of my mouth, I was gonna say, if he pushes, c6, then I'm going knight to b6, fork the king and the queen, and that's a major material advantage. Not guaranteed to win, but probably a win. Highly probable. So he did it. Like some real psychic third world Star Trek Jedi mind trick through the web internet. He actually played the move that I was about to say. If he plays this move, and before I could get if out, it was played. Wow, interesting. Okay. So for those of you watching this on YouTube too, don't forget, please click that like button, man. Subscribe, comment, share. Let me know how I can improve this Chess Optics streaming experience, YouTube experience for you. Yes, let me know. And then I'll let me know. And then we'll both know. Nah, that's crazy, right? Yeah, should I play another 15-minute game? I don't feel like that was justice, man. That was like, how many moves was that? Wasn't even a whole game. That was crazy. Let's look at it for a second though. Let's look at it. So I play e4, knight to he plays e5, c3, c6 with the knights. I play f4, trying to get into my Vienna. He plays d6. He's not going for any knight f6 tricks. All right. Knight to f3, bishop to g4, all standard developing logical moves. Bishop to b5, e7, bishop goes to from black, white castles. Now this move, knight to h6. So with this move, I'm looking like, I would think chase the bishop away here. If you capture, this gets captured, but this gets captured, right? And you get the open file here when this bishop eventually comes out, blah, 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 blah. But you're not necessarily aiming at this pawn. You have the open file for usage, right? Later you may be able to penetrate if you can get this, whatever. But that's just what I was thinking. I was like, all right, that. But he played knight to h6, dropping frames. If you are missing some parts of this, I apologize. I apologize if you're missing some things. Anyway, I just peeped over, looked like a frame drop. So he plays knight to h6. All right, just protect the pawn. Logical moves, nothing crazy am I trying to do right now. Queen to d7, f5. Why continuously let the queen and the knight protect the bishop? Right? f5. And he goes to the queen side. Okay, put my bishop on e3. These all look like good regular moves. He threatens my bishop with a6. Come back to f5. Bishop to f6. Queen goes to d2. Now, both sides are fully developed. Nothing is on the back ranks for either side, the very back ranks, but the rooks and the king for each respective side. So, what is going on here? So me trying to explain this in most simplest terms that I can, right? Material is even, but I believe the potential for attack is easier for white because of this a6 pawn and the potential lever here. You don't even have to wait. You could just actually hold on. Yeah, I mean, actually, man, I'm just pushing straight up. Sack the pawn. I don't want the pawn. I want an open file. Period. Sack the pawn. Bring my rook over. Right? And we work from here. Yeah, we got some things that can come out this way, this way, this way. Right? What's gonna happen? Nobody can predict, but and looking at that, that's what I kind of considered. But he plays bishop takes. I play rook capture. Knight comes in. That definitely can't stay there. And now he has a bent up pawn structure due to the double pawns on the d file. Bring my knight to d5. Bishop goes to why though? Bishop goes to e5. Why? I didn't understand that, because okay, you don't want to exchange, but maybe it's good to exchange, because if you take, I capture, black captures, and we get this. Why did you go queen side in the first place? You want to open file on the queen side, don't you? you're attacking the king with your rooks. So fine, leave this. I would have left that there. Take it. Look at these pawns. Pawn, pawn, pawn. On the same color as the bishop. The bishop really has no targets, right? Because white's pawns are all on mostly white squares, right? And it's not even in the end game yet. And your bishop is blocked by the central pawn. So take the bishop. It's a bad piece. Again, an example. And what am I about to say? An example of positional learning curve misunderstanding. Because this is from, I believe, in my opinion, positional bias. Save the bishop at all costs. Don't let it get exchanged for a knight. No. Chess is not about bishops, knights, and pawns, and it's about checkmate, man. And you got an open file here if you capture this bishop and the pawn takes back, leading directly to who? The king. Where else does you where else? Now this may be a piece you might want to keep if you had another line to penetrate directly into the opponent's position. This open file comes all the way down the board. You do not want to pass up on that. If he wants to take this bishop, please do. Please. It's a bad piece anyway, right? It's not like you have a knight that can plop down on e5 once my bishop is gone, right? And I have a pawn here on d6 anyway, but yes, this is an example of positional misunderstanding, learning curve problems. Okay, so he plays knight into d5, and he's threatening. Excuse me, sorry, I just went backwards and did the same thing. Pardon me. So he plays bishop, excuse me, to e5, trying to escape that. And then look at this. Look at this. Let's do this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That move happens. So let's trace this back. Trace it back. Trace it back. We can find the flaw in the thinking, in a sense, just in this sequence. Not maybe there's others in the whole game that you'd have to look at later. But so first, he's thinking positionally in terms of a piece, but not the whole position. So he's thinking about save the bishop. The bishop is more important than the open file to him because he's been taught or her that the bishop is very, very valuable. But yes, in open positions, yes. In all positions, no. Every position has its own code of conduct, its own constitution. Like every state in the United States, this is not about politics, by the way, but like every state in the United States has their own constitution. Every chess position has its own constitution, rules, regulations to go by. It's still in the language of the game, still about time, space, material, pawn structure, development, king position, so on and so forth. Loose pieces drop off, inadequately defended pieces leave opportunities for tactics. All of those things are still relevant, right? But the key factor is your ability to interpret them and get the best out of it. And apparently this was not the case, because when this knight came here, right? So what? What you do if you're concerned about it, take this knight and put it up here. Defend that while simultaneously, if you want to get him out of here, put this knight here and it'll get rid of that for you. And you may keep your structure of each exchange's knights. Right now, my idea moving this, right, had nothing to do with what I originally gained. I just wanted to open this, put a rook here, and use my rook to open a direct line into his position, and like he would have done if he would have allowed me or her to capture the bishop, and the black would have had a rook on the G file, but I didn't even need a rook on the file. Remember, all the pieces play a part in chess. Every piece in this game has a part to play. If you do not understand the position, you may not know what piece should play. This bishop plays really no part in this game. None. No targets. Pawns on its own color. Look at the long diagonal. Look at this diagonal. Right? How are you going to get, if you want to pin, remember this is about pin territory. Chess is about territory. And it takes too much time. Even if you could achieve it, you have to push the pawn, step back here, but there's no targets on this line. So if you were to just sack this and try and get on the open line here, and if you made it here, this is blocked. So this bishop serves no purpose in this game, but apparently my opponent wasn't in this game. They were in their head dealing with positional learning curve misunderstanding, and somewhere they interpreted that under all course and under all circumstances, do not let your bishop be captured by a knight, or captured period, whatever. So anyway, he decides to save it. I push because I'm still trying to open the file, which means that if he captures with this pawn, I'm not taking with this pawn, definitely not taking with my queen, but I will come back here with the knight if he captures and take with the knight. And then if he takes with this, of course I'll take with the queen because I want to keep this file open. It's the only thing on the board from either side that allows penetration from only my side. It's a half open file for me because black has a pawn on it and I don't. So there's potential for targeting, potential for tactics. That's positional learning curve understanding, right? Doesn't mean that you'll always make the right decisions, but I can explain in a sense what it is I'm doing and why. Sometimes like when I'm just playing, there'll be remnants of it still, but not as significantly detailed as this. And this isn't all the details, of course. So I had that in mind. Push C3, open a C file, and wait for your opportunity to strike on the queen side, or try and create an opportunity, right? But my opponent had another idea, gave me this. This is a gift that you cannot return, right? I'm going here. Check. Queen is toast. The fork. Yes, 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 the fork. Well, this has been a pleasure, and I truly, truly do hope that you enjoyed this and you get something out of it to learn from. Take it back to your lab, your mental lab or your stockfish lab, whatever lab you have or whatever lab you choose, and apply your own twist to it, your own little analytical science project, and see what happens, right? See what happens. You don't have to play the exact same moves move for move, but how does it influence your game? Oh wow, why not chess? Thank you for the raid, bro. Man, I was just about to I guess I'm gonna hang out now. I was just about to hit the I'm out of here. All right, okay. I see you, big bro. Thanks for the raid, man. Thanks for the raid. Why not chess? What's up, big bro, man? I'm just over here expounding some chess philosophy, man, to, you know, those under us, sharing the, you know, the things that were shared with us, how to improve, why we lose at chess, what is a positional learning curve, misunderstanding or understanding, what is the difference between a board blunder, right, and a positional learning curve misunderstanding blunder, because those are the worst blunders. the worst, because you don't even, especially if you have a rigid personality. What is a rigid personality? That's somebody who's like, yeah, like, so I'm gonna give you an example. There was a guy who I was playing. For those of you who know my background, I did a little time and a lot of time actually, but so I was playing him, and he always put his bishops on G4 and B4 and decided he wanted to chop my knights off. Literally, I mean, every game we played, he pretty much did this, and I just dismantled him. So I wanted to make it interesting, and I told him, I said, listen, you know, the moment that you decide to take my knight this early in the game, you give me a key indication of how I should try and shape the pawn structure to my advantage, because I have two bishops, which is the imbalance that you leave me with. So I open the board up, I create targets, lay back in the distance, start picking things off like a sniper, right? And guess what? He lost every time. And so rigid, what I mean by rigid, which makes positional learning curve misunderstandings occur and hard to break down. His rigidness was based on him saying, oh, them knights is dangerous, man. I gotta get them off the board. Learning curve misunderstanding plus rigidity, being like holding fast to a position that is ultimately flawed, kept him in this learning curve misunderstanding. He could have just let that go and tried something else, something new, like the ice bath the brother Demon Time 823 was telling me about, man. Shout out to Demon Time, shout out to Why Not Chess, thanks for the raid, brother. But so not wanting to try something new put him in a position to where eventually what he did, you want to hear this? You want to hear what he eventually did? Let me know in the chat, man. If you want to hear what this guy actually did after I beat him, every game we ever played that he decided he want to put his bishops on B4 and G4, he lost every game. And I mean every. And if you want to know what he did, you're just gonna have to type in the chat, what did he do? What did he do? And then I'll tell you what he did. It's very simple. What did he do? Right? What did he do? What did he do? Yeah, I used to do that too until I saw that Fisher said the bishop is worth 3.5 and the knight is only worth 3. I'm not gonna argue with Fisher. But so what he did was it made me like kind of sad, man. Because I was just trying to help him with a little bit of advice and information. But what he did was he went to the extreme, man. Something that true chess players, we never do this. I mean, I've been playing chess since I'm 45. I've been playing since I was consistently 14, but I learned at 8, right? I started studying, I'm gonna say around 11, 12. That's when I really got introduced to books, right? So, he took his chessboard and his chess pieces. I don't even want to say what he did, man, because it's like what is the it's like what's the word for when you violate something sacred? What is the word for when you violate something sacred? It's called it's leaving. It's not coming to me right now, but what he did, right? He took his chess set and his chessboard, he took them outside. Yes, that's the word. Why not? Thank you. Desecrate. He took his chess set and his chessboard outside right? And it was just crazy. He took the chess set and the chessboard outside and just left it on the table for anybody to pick. Like, he threw chess away and started playing cards, man. And I was like, man, I didn't mean to do that. Like, to this day, I think about that because it was just a learning curve. It was a misunderstanding that he didn't want to let go of. And all he had to do was say, you know what? I'm going to try this, this method and see, what happens. But he had been taking knights for so long with his bishops, right? On G4 and B4, when the knights were on F3 and C3, that it was just like ingrained in him, like somebody telling him the alphabet is backwards. So I'm like, man, why did you throw the chess set away and the chessboard? Man, his response was like, I don't need that anymore. This doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, what? Oh, now let me say something first, right? He played chess before I played him a lot. Like, I used to see him in the prison yard at the tables, talking hella shit too. Move this. I'ma take that. Oh, you ain't see that? Who got next? I ain't getting up. So I keep hearing all of this. I'm at another table. We're a little bit more mature and we just playing, good games, win, lose, who got next. It might be a little bets. Some people might put up some cigarettes or whatever. And you got gang members that even bet on chess games in prison, man. I'm talking about, like, they will come by and put 10 packs of Newports on the person they think is going to win. And a lot of times they make money off of that, man. I did 22 years in prison, man. I was in Attica, Sing Sing, Comstock, Wendy Correctional Facility, Fishkill, Elmira, Shawanga, Sing Sing, Clinton. I think I said that already. And I've been Comstock, been all over, man. And I'm out here streaming chess now. I'm glad to be home, bro. This technology is lovely. It's amazing. If they had this when I was 8, I don't know the words to describe it. I've been in love with chess for a very, very long time. And it's actually what helped get me through my prison bid. Yeah. That is another story for another stream, but that is true. Definitely helped me get me through my prison bid. But if you want to hear the story tonight, I could go into it, but I like to save some things. But so I'm like, wow, you really gave away your chess set. It's crazy. I'm going to get into another 15-minute game here because I don't feel like, how many moves was that? Wow. Oh my. This is crazy. I didn't even look at how many moves it was. It was 15 moves in a 15-minute game. What are you? Well, G30, like, that's the time controlled collectively with 10-second increment. Like, that's madness. I never even play. The most I do in Rapid is 10 minutes. Like, I don't Rapid and 10 seconds come. Like, really? But I mean, I'm just feeling like doing something different. See? Learning curve, understanding and misunderstanding relates and translates from chess across the board into other arenas, like me playing a 15-10 Rapid game that I'm about to do right now. But yeah, man, that kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, wow, you got rid of the chess set, the chess board, the chess pieces, and you feel like it's no longer something that you want to do anymore. And I'm not gonna take credit for that, because I promote chess. I want more chess players. I don't want less chess players. Anywhere, anytime. Even if you lose it, I want to help you try to figure out how to win. So now I'm gonna try to play my hyper accelerated dragon and see what happens. Yeah, man. See, this time control, I can do a little talking and concentrate. Maybe when until it get tight, then I might have to stop. But yeah, I'm looking at this opening. I don't know all the lines and then blah blah blah. I just know that when you put the pawn on g6, bishop on g7, and the knight on f6 before the knight to c6, you're trying to avoid bishop to b5. Which happens in the Rosalima, which I also play, and it will double your pawns on the queen side and give white theoretically structural advantage. Not in any way necessarily winning. These things still have to be understood and executed upon. So I'm playing somebody named Into the Phone. You know what I love about Lee Chess, man? Or, you know, this is one of the things I really like. These names. Chess Optics Into the Phone. Like, put it together. That's funny. Chess Optics Into the Phone. Into the Phone. How do you come up with a name like Into the Phone? Like how do people come up with names? Period. Into the Phone. That's a unique name. Really. Like am I gonna keep saying that? Into the phone. Into the phone. Into the phone. Bishop to e3. Should I castle right now? Let's try this first. I like to do things with tempo, or have a tempo available to me sometimes on the board. Maybe this was not a good idea. Weakens b7. I don't know. b6, excuse me. But I'm going for the b5 push. But the bishop on. Oh, he's coming for my bishop on h6. Hold up. There's something like push the pawn. Pawn takes. Knight takes pawn. Bishop, queen. Let's see something. I think I need to castle first. Before I push d5, should I castle? Should I castle before I push d5? That's what I'm thinking. Nobody could check me from b5. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I mean, d5 is a key move in Sicilian structures, the central break. I don't know if I should be playing it right now before I castle, but we'll see what he does. Mr. or Miss Into the Phone. Into the phone. Into the phone. Has anybody ever played Into the Phone? Or maybe he's saying, is he saying he like into the phone? Like, yeah, I'm into the phone. Or into the phone. Like something's getting thrown into like a phone booth. I don't know. I'm reading too much into it. Reading way too much into it. So I'm playing Into the Phone. He's rated 1964. I'm rated. I don't know. 2022. Whatever. I don't even play this time control, but I'm here. I just played d5. Because I see that. You have. He could be watching the stream. So you have the queen on d2 and the bishop on e3, threatening to try and exchange by coming over to h6. And well, yeah, he moved. All right, so taking this, whatever happens, there'll be an isolated pawn. But he cannot do what no. This is a trap. Wow. You see the trap? Bishop takes knight. If my knight, excuse me. Well, let's hypothetically say he takes with the pawn, right? And I don't take, and I take the knight. Bishop takes knight, queen takes, and then bishop to b5 check. And I lose my queen. All right, so we take this. What is going on? So that d5 push ended up with me having split pawns. Two isolated pawns, one on c6, one on a6. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that at all. That is not something that, but we do have the open B file where there's the open B file and the open D file. And this is a target on a6 too. Hey. I'm gonna castle. I'm moving. I don't like to be in the center of the board this long. And that is something else that's learning curve, bias, it could be a misunderstanding, could be good based on general principles, but general principles are not always adhered to. Let me see something. I'm sacking this pawn. I am definitely sacking this pawn. And no, I'm not about to play knight takes d4. Knight takes e4. Bishop takes, queen takes, and then the knight just... If he moves his knight though, yeah, but... He's probably wondering like, why did I just do that? And I just want to move his bishop. Trying to confuse him. I want to move his bishop from this, right? I want to move it from that, right? And I also want to do something else. That didn't work. Well, I was hoping that he would take this. I was gonna come here with my knight, put the bishop here, bring the queen, call check, right? Because mind you, if he takes my bishop, if he takes the pawn, I come here, say he threatens me, bishop goes here, bishop takes, queen takes check, he slides over, and we pull a knight back, I guess. I don't know. Or I would have. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Tempo. Usually moves that have tempo involved in the Sicilian end up being very, very good. It's just something that I've learned looking at some lines in this. Like, a lot of times you'll see things and black just has to keep playing for tempo and work around it. Jaron say, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm in the East Coast. Saturday, still Friday out here. Okay, I'm just playing a little 15-minute game. I was talking a little chess philosophy 101 stuff. You can check it out in the VODs. And my guy here is, what is he doing? He just, hold on, man. See, I don't know what's going on with 15. You got a lot of time, and this is what you come up with. You give up the bishop. Who's protecting the bishop now once the queen moves? Like, for real. So I'm taking the queen because that's gonna put me up a significant advantage and he's probably gonna resign because he's looking at this like, what? All right. Now I'm taking the bishop. Material advantage. And there's again tempo because there's the threat here to pin to the king. He resigned. Maybe it was a mouse slip. I don't know. Maybe it was a mouse slip. This is boring. I mean, even though I won and I'm winning, I don't like winning like that. I was thinking that on the 15-minute time control, I would get like, you got 15 minutes. If you ever play Bullet or Blitz, that's like giving you a whole world, unless the person is just stronger than you. So, to have these outcomes and these time controls, it's like, I don't know. What was he rated? 1964? Let's look at some of his games. Let's look at some of it. This is another reason why I love Lee Chess. The features, like, so I can literally go look at all of his games by clicking on his name. His name is into the phone, right? And then I can slide all the way over here and go to 1,110 games that he has played. So the last game he played against, he's playing right now. I can actually watch his game right now that he's playing. For those of you who may be watching on Twitch or YouTube who don't know, who are unfamiliar with the Lee Chess features, this is one of the features that Lee Chess offers you. The ability to look at whoever plays you or whoever you have ever played or any game you've ever played or whatever on Lee Chess, and it's in its saving database that you can look back at it for insights, growth, getting rid of learning curve. How many times am I going to say that tonight, right? But getting rid of learning curve misunderstandings, positional learning curve misunderstandings. And what better way to do that than in looking at games, right? So, oh, someone said my audio is too low. Let me make adjustments. Let me make some adjustments real quick. I don't know if it's the mic. So the mic is all the way up. Check the volume over here. Volume mixer, where's this at? That's all the way up. I'm checking it now. Laurent say I'm checking everything right now. That's up. Let me look inside of the microphone output. Let's see. Is that let me go a little bit higher here. Is this better? Can you hear? Can you hear now? Is it a little bit louder? Wow, I was saying all of that stuff and nobody could hear me. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, Jerron say, let me know in the chat, or anybody let me know in the chat if the sound is better now. I'm going into the yellow. All right, thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I actually went on YouTube and found a video that allowed you to go into the microphone properties and adjust your settings. I had, guys, girls, if there's girls out there listening, listen, I went through hell to get to heaven, because this is heaven to me. I love doing this, man. This is like, this is a chess player's dream. All right, so what we were looking at before I was noted to the sound adjustments here was some games by in the phone. So I don't know if I'm gonna look at, but this was the last game that I played here. I'm just looking at outcomes here. So correspondence. He's a 15-10 player too. Stockfish level 1. I don't know what this guy is doing. I'm not getting into it. I don't know. Stockfish level 1. Why? Why did I even look? Like, why did I even look? Why? I don't know why I do some of the things I do. So, I'm not gonna play any more 15-10 right now because I left a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do this 3-minute blitz, excuse me. And this is where we are. Okay, we have E4 on the board. So I always try to get, I'm trying to learn to hyper accelerate it. Dragon, so I play it with, some of the moves that I know. I'm not going into all of the lines, and maybe I should. But I have not. What is that about? Just curious, what is it about? What is that about? Really? Alright, he's gonna try that, so I'll just take this, protect this, and attack that. He backs up. He backs up. See, I'm looking. Alright. I'm not. This is not the same time control. Alright, he has to get out of here. So let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here, man. See, now if he ever takes this, oh really? Oh, that's amazing. He's gonna come here for a check. That's it. All right. I still have 2 central pawns that I haven't moved. I don't know why. Oftentimes I play this like this. I don't know. Put this here. He's gonna castle probably. But these central pawns are about to roll. I'm not playing no games with this guy. They are rolling. No, they are rolling, sir. Rolling. I don't know what that was. This is like, so he wants to play and take that. Cool, no problem. The pawns are still rolling. What is that about? He wants to come here and call check. How do we deal with that? We just put this right here. He takes this back up here. What's going on now? He's threatening that. And he went king side. Let's try and get rid of this. This is a defender of the king side. And it'll definitely destroy his pawn structure. I don't like this though. This is on the line here. Okay. Fine. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do for this guy? Coming here. Oh, he went that way. Let me get out of this pen, man. Something crazy happens. Because he can take, if I move the knight, he can take my, well, the queen is here. All right, we take with this. Now I can capture back this way and I don't have to worry about. So I have the whole, I have a piece on every central square. This is definitely an advantage. Definitely an advantage. And I'm willing to just get the queens off the board because I have a all right, I'll back up here because he probably wants this. Then I'll move. Yep. And if he takes that, take this. All right. What am I looking for? Simple. Checkmate. What else is there to look for? That is what I want to achieve. That is what I want to achieve. Checkmate. And I, come on, it's that easy? What? No rematch. No rematch. No rematch. I'm sorry. I'm not doing a rematch. I am not doing a rematch. Like, all right. So anyway, what was I talking about? How did he miss that though? I'm like, what? That is crazy. So look at this, man. I mean, how does this speak to? So okay, here's a good thing. Like, all right. Each game, how does it speak to what I was speaking about? So let's look at this. All right, here. Every position can be open to a person's interpretation, whether right or wrong, based on how we understand it. Let's go back. Why this move? You already moved that pawn. That contributes to loss of time and puts you behind the development. So I bring the knight out and then you move that piece again. So right there's some problems early. Okay, so again, how does this, just from here we can see some indications of you can see indications right now. And how many moves is this? At this point, let's go back. Let's just look at this. At this point, this is only 5, 6 moves, and we see indications already of learning curve misunderstanding positionally. You move the pawn twice, you move the knight twice to attack f7, which is the king side, which is presumably saying that you're trying to attack the king too early in the game because you believe probably that this is blitz and you should try and knock your opponent out fast. But it does not matter what the time control is. You still have to have a justification for your attack, and there's no justification to me for white to lose these tempo willingly, right? You push, capture back with the knight. I'm not taking, listen, I am me. If you take this, I am not taking this and giving you this and potentially this if this comes out. And you have G7, all my dark square king squares, dark squares on the king side under lock and key. No. Therefore, I'm almost 100% sure that after this the engine will say the knight should capture. Could be wrong. And I am, well, it's suggesting the Smith-Morra gambit, C3. But let's just look at this and see what the problem is. Queen to A5 check. Pawn push. But white still has point 1. So this is not a bad move, right? Not a bad move. What does it think about this? Automatically it gives black 0.9. Do you know point 9 is like a pawn? It is a pawn because I just took one, but I come here, you go here, my advantage decreased to, after this move, excuse me, it went up to like 5.1. So if an engine tells you that at move, anything before move 10 or 12, that you have a disadvantage of 4 pawns when you're only 1 pawn down, your position is not something that is gonna be efficient for getting good winning games. Not that you can't win with a bad position, because people still make mistakes, but your chances against even rated players are like not good. So let's try another I'm gonna do another 3-minute game. I didn't like that one either. Maybe I'm just trying to get my ass kicked. I don't know. And maybe it's about to happen. But I am not going to play another 15-10 tonight. That's not happening. So whatever happens here happens. Okay, we have black again. And this guy is 1837. I'm just gonna mimic him for a little while. See what I can do. Literally, I do this sometimes, for real. I'm not playing that though. I'm not playing that. I'm putting my bishop here. Then I'm gonna castle. Put this here. Here. Oh, whoa. Really? He's serious about this. Alright, I'll take that. This, again, are people just trying to, like, they're just attacking to attack? Alright, I'm here. Is he gonna take f7 now? No. But this loses his bishop. What is going on? Is it like, what's going on out here? I better pay attention now, because just because you have an advantage doesn't mean you're winning or going to win. So we take this and we take control of the center of the board. We're not trying to exchange a bunch of pieces right now. Let's pull, no, leave the knight here. Push this. No, we're not pushing that either. What are we about to do? We're about to push here. Can the queen do anything? I see her. I definitely see her. See a bishop too. What if this? Wow. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. All right, I'm sacking this. I need to open this file. See this? I need to open that. I could be wrong, but I need to open that. Definitely need to open that. He didn't push the pawn. Wow. Need to open that file. It's the only thing that leads directly to the king side. Okay, he played that. Honestly, I could take both rooks. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll take both rooks. Both rooks. Check. Push. Push. threatening the queen. Come here, threatening this and this. So yeah, he definitely has to give that back. Wow. That game was insane. But he had to play terrible, man, for that to happen. Wow. Wow. So where's the positional learning curve misunderstanding in this game? Let's look. I like to look at games, especially in the beginning when I analyze. You know, you're supposed to look for threats, of course. These are the things that, but there's a lot of other things you can look at when you analyze. I mean, every time someone tells you this is how you analyze a game, they're giving you the basics a lot of times. They're going to tell you to look at, you know, is your opponent making a move that's threatening something? Is something unprotected? Can you meet the threat? Can you ignore the threat? How many pieces are on the board? But you can look at a lot of things in analysis. And what I like to look at in the beginning of the game especially is how white handles tempo. Like the loss of tempo can be important. I learned this from a friend of mine named Engin. He's from Turkey. And he would just somehow manage to win games just by keep threatening. And, you know, if you lose time, you can't get it back. Not even a second. Okay, so everything's okay so far. Long diagonal castle. Okay, so this move. And then you don't even play this. So what was the purpose of playing that? And then playing that? Why not just play the bishop here if that's where you want to go? Or even here, right? Pull back maybe, all the way back. And I mean, you could hope for something like if this leaves and that opens. I don't know. But if you're not gonna play b4, why did you even play a3? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's like waiting move, something. You see, I played b6, so I'm gonna play bishop to b7. Right? He played sensibly over here. So play h5. Took it with the pawn. Another tempo for what? Why did you put that there to exchange, but you forgot this was unprotected, so you lose a piece. So this is just, I think, a calculation problem. That's what I'm gonna say. I think this is calculation. If I was to say how did it, you know, relate to learning curve, positional misunderstanding, I would say definitely tempo, even in the most subtle sense, right? So we look over here and we see a3 and then bishop to e2 with no b4. What is a3? You trying to keep me out of going to b5, but I can't get to d3, so you could still go bishop to e2, right? And if I go here, you can threaten me later. You get the tempo instead of losing the tempo. I really don't know. No, I really don't know. And I like to say that. I mean, not knowing is the place where knowing comes from. Like, really, everybody wants to, I know, well, this analysis, I don't know. I don't know, because it gives me a space from which to explore. I can explore when I don't know. When you do know, I mean, it's like, okay, this guy's like, yeah, he knows every damn thing. What's the point? No, but for real, I mean, people can know a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I can't explain what his learning curve positional misunderstanding is in this position. Anything beyond tempo right now. I'll have to take a longer look at the game. So that's that for that game. That is that for that game. So I said this earlier and I didn't keep my promise. But it's a good promise not to keep because I stuck around for a little while longer. And now I am looking for someone to raid. Let me see who is there to raid. Oh, let's look. What else? We looking for somebody to raid, y'all. Any suggestions in the chat? Who we got? Chess Bro, Chess Dojo Live, The Last 7 Samurai. Okay, I'm gonna raid The Last 7 Samurai because I was just on his I was on his stream. He got a nice stream, bro. Really nice, man. Really nice. Demon Time put me on to the brother, The Last 7 Samurai. So we are going to raid The Last 7 Samurai. Yes, we are. Let's see what he's doing over there. Let's see what he's doing. Live. Okay. You know, how do we do this again? We type in slash first. And then we type, I remember from yesterday. I remember how to raid. We type slash raid and then space. And we type in The Last 7, LASTSEVEN, Samurai, SAMURAI. Okay. The Last 7 Samurai. And did I type this right? Let's see. No, I didn't. I don't think, did I? No. Okay. Let's see something. Let's try this again. Slash raid. The Last 7. Oh, I'm writing 7. It's not. It's The Last 7. Number 7. Samurai. SAMURAI. See if this works. Yes. We are going to raid The Last 7 Samurai. And with that, I am out.